Or like it depends on how it can depend on how they meet. It can depend on the person, like you said, and then time then doesn't really matter because it depends on how you personally feel. Are you still emotionally attached to that person? Are you still hurt? Are you still in love with that person? And then they're obviously moving on. They're not on the same, let's say, the same page as you. So it depends on how you feel. And the time, I feel like, obviously at this age and after having nearly, I don't know, how old is my son? 7. So having maybe 4 or 5 years of this co-parenting experience, I get it now. Time doesn't matter whether they meet someone else or not.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost everything else and how you feel and how you've got over it and how you feel hurt or how you feel like if you still love them or not. It just, time doesn't really matter. And like you said, you used my Jammer as an example, 6-7 months and she's engaged, and it could be because of many different things and it doesn't necessarily matter about time.
Long money.
That as well, boy. Because he was
the long money.
Slam dunked his way.
Nah, man.
6
I'm
months.
sure my Jammer's in love, man.
Yeah,
but
trust.
when your money is long, you can get engaged to someone over the weekend.
Come on.
and that's it still.
But you know what it is as well for me, yeah, is us as men, because I know there's certain men out there that look at it as that woman's had my child, they're mine now.
Oh, definitely.
There's a control element. Like, nah, you got my youth, so therefore I need to know where you are. I need to know what you're doing, like who you're chatting to. Let me see your phone. All of these things, yeah. I've been that guy, that 22-year-old version of me. Like, I thought I should be able to control this situation, and when I realized I can't control the situation, I drawed for the one thing that I knew I could control, which was money. So I tried to withhold money. And then I got taken my ass to the CSA. Yeah, but this is me being real. Because it got to a point, we was clashing a lot and there wasn't really a routine. There was no consistency, and the money I was given was very sporadic. And the money I was given was more based off of how well you've behaved rather than what I should be given. So it was more, now you've kind of taken liberties in my eyes this month, I'll give you 200. Next month, I might give you 3 bills. Next month, 1 bill. Yeah. And she said to me, I'm going CSA. And I was like, you realize if you go CSA, you might get less. But she said something to me that stuck to me to this day. She said, I'd rather get less and know every month what I'm getting than have that fluctuate based on what you want to do.
Like you feel,
because she said, I can then control my life and what I'm doing rather than hoping and wishing and that. And I respect that. And I think that's right. Like, we should give what we're meant to give. I know certain men don't have a lot, but there's certain men that are spending money on trainers. They're looking a certain way, but then they're saying they can't give their baby mums money. It's like, it's priorities at the end of the day.
Seeing as we're on the topic of money and finances, how does it actually work out then? So, does it have to go through the legal proceedings for the amount of money that's given to be determined, or is that done just through you and your child's mother? And I'm asking like questions as in like, give it to me as in someone that doesn't know anything, because I don't. Yeah. So I'm genuine. So like with the money, I'm not saying say the amounts that you give, but how does the court tell you that you need to give this amount?
No.
Or do you decide it?
So say for example, like me and my child's mum are cool. And we've decided, you know what, we sat down, we spoke, and we said, you know what, I'm going to give you 4 bills a month. And she's cool with that and I'm cool with that. There's no need for us to get anyone else involved because we have an agreement. At the point that she feels there is no longer an agreement, or that, I don't know, there's just this kind of like tension or some issue about money, child maintenance gets involved. What they will then do is they will look at what the man is earning, or the non-residential parent. Let's say that 9 times out of 10 is going to be the man, but the non-residential parent, they'll look at what that person is earning and they're taking into consideration certain factors. One factor, their salary. Another factor, how many children they have. And another factor is how often the child that you are talking about stays at their house. Those are all things that will determine how much money is handed. There's a rough figure where it's meant to be. You will give 12% of your salary if you have 1 child. For 2 children, you will then give 16% of your salary. What a lot of people think is if the man's giving 2 bills for 1 child and then he has another kid, he's now giving 4 bills. No. If he's giving 2 bills, he may now have to give 3 bills, but it's split between the 2. So each child now gets 150, whereas when there was 1 child, they got £200.
But either way, it's 12% of your...
It's around 12%,
More or less, yeah.
and I think it's capped at something like the max you can get. Like if the man's earning more than $3,000 a week or something like that, there's a cap. So it's like if the man's earning, I don't know, if you get certain ballers, they're earning like 100k a week, they're not going to be necessarily expected to pay their child's mum.
Like 50% of
Like,
that
yeah.
amount. Okay.
Fair.
Okay.
But yeah, courts and CSA are 2 different. Someone asked me this the other day. Like, you would more go to court if it's in terms of how you see your child. I'm not being allowed to see my child, so therefore you would go to court. Child maintenance is pretty much done. Let me just quickly break it down. Sorry to be rambling so much. Yeah.
That's good.
So a woman would contact child support, right, and say, or child maintenance, and say, you know what, this is the child's dad. He's not giving me any money, or there's issues with money. And then what they would do is they would reach out to that child's dad and basically say, look, a case has been opened. We need you to provide us with certain information, like your earnings, etc., etc. He could refuse, at which point they can just go to HMRC anyway, yeah, and get all of this information. The one thing with child maintenance, which is a bit mad, is once they come back and say, this is the figure that the mum should be getting, the man and the woman can then agree for that to be paid weekly, monthly, or whatever. If the man's kind of refusing, what child maintenance will do is just take it out of his paycheck every month.
Oh, swear.
Simple.
But if they have to do that, the man gets charged the extra 20%.
And is it? I saw there's a 4% charge for
the woman.
The woman to receive it, so
Yeah.
they take a little bit off the top.
Whoa. So let me just go back to this.
Yeah.
Wait.
Trust me.
So if they have to basically get that money from you because you're just not paying up or you're ignoring them, they will take it out of your salary anyway. But then there will be an added 20% on top of what they're taking out
For them being involved.
and then you're saying a 4% on top of that.
For the receiving parent, will receive basically 4% less than the full amount. So let's say I don't know, they're meant to receive £100 or £200. You take 4% off that.
Oh, so
pocket either way. So because you got me involved as CSA or child maintenance.
So it's at the detriment to the person receiving as well, the recipient.
In a sense,
That as in they're getting a bit less than what they would have if you just basically answered.
It's
child
more
maintenance.
beneficial to just, you know what, like, this is what you're meant to pay. You two go off, discuss how you're going to do that and get on with it. And then what the CSA do is every year they will send both parents an update to say, because it's based on what you earned for the previous financial year.
Oh, okay.
So if your salaries change, the next year your child support could change. So what a lot of men do is if, for example, someone's doing bare overtime, yeah, and then they get put on CSA and they're like, you're paying 4 bills a month. And that person's like, no, but that's not my earnings. Because that's when I was doing bare overtime. I'm not doing that now. They can kind of look into that and see and maybe make an adjustment. But a lot of men will stop doing overtime on the basis that they don't want the mum to get more money. And to me, you're cutting your nose to spite your face there, because they're only going to get, if you earn an extra G that month, the mum's going to get an extra 2 bills, maybe. You're still getting an extra 8 bills. But certain men will say, no, I'm going to stop doing overtime now because
she's getting more.
As long as that amount you're talking about is after tax.
Yeah.
Because then they're thinking differently. Like.